In the consulting I do, I work with a lot of small business owners who feel like they really want to grow their business and they rush out and they start doing things before they're really prepared. So it's kind of like taking a little potato that hasn't been chitted and you throw it in the ground and you expect to produce. Have you ever tried planting potatoes straight from the bag and putting it in the ground? If you've ever tried it, you may have realized that there's not much of a harvest that you get from doing that. And that's because a key step was skipped to really prepare the potato so that it can grow what it needs to grow. And that key step is called chitting. That's C-H-I-T. Chitting is where a potato, if you look at this right here, you see, see how it's got this little growth on it? Okay, that's called chitting. So if you've ever left a potato in your cupboard or like in your pantry or something for too long and it grows these like weird eyes, that's what chitting is. So if I go and take this potato and I put it in the ground, it has all that it needs to go and grow and produce a whole bunch of potatoes, okay? But if I was to take a regular red potato, this is a little red potato, if I was to take a red potato just out of the bag and stick it in the ground, it's not gonna have very much success at all because these little chits right here, this is what grows and this is what produces more potatoes. In the consulting I do, I work with a lot of small business owners who feel like they really want to grow their business and they rush out and they start doing things before they're really prepared. So it's kind of like taking a little potato that hasn't been chitted and you throw it in the ground and you expect it to produce. And then it doesn't produce, right? So I have seen people try to create websites way too early without knowing what they're doing with their business and having everything nailed down. And they spend all this time and effort and money, a lot of money, on trying to build out the website, but it wasn't ready. Their business wasn't ready for that website and all of that effort. Or another example that I've seen is people trying to roll out products and services and they haven't really nailed down who is their target customer. And so then they're creating something thinking, hey, this is gonna be amazing, this is gonna be great. And yeah, while it may be fantastic, right? Is it really prepared? Is it truly the right thing that your customers need? So again, they had a great idea, they had the potato, but they didn't chit it out. They didn't stop and say, okay, what I need to do to make sure that this potato is really ready to go in the ground. Another thing that I notice with small business leaders is that they have this desire to do a business, right? They see some kind of gap in the marketplace. Like, great, I see that there's this thing over here and I have this offer. Let me take care of that gap. Let me fill that gap by offering a business. Fantastic. I love it. It's wonderful. It's really how businesses have grown and evolved over time, right? There's nothing wrong with that. The challenge though that I see is that there are a number of leaders who are not first deciding what is that thing that they are trying to accomplish in being the business leader, okay? And so without that clarity, without knowing your personal brand, without really being clear about where is it I'm wanting to take this business, without those clear things in place, all the things that they're trying to do in turn doesn't yield what it is that they're looking for, right? So it's kind of like taking a potato and throwing it in the ground that has not been chitted, right? So you have to chit the potato first so it yields a lot more success. Doing this takes a while. Okay, you guys, this whole process can take a couple of months to happen for the potato. Would I love to get the potatoes in the ground sooner so I get potatoes to eat out of my garden sooner? Yes, of course I would. However, by not chitting them, I'm not going to get the harvest that I'm looking for, and it's quite possible the potato's not even gonna do anything. It's just gonna rot in the ground. So the same thing happens with leaders, you guys. This is where I want you to think about. What is it that you need to be chitting in yourself? What is it that you need to be proving out? For example, do you know your personal brand? And if you don't know your personal brand, let's get that thing nailed down. It's going to help you in so many ways to know what it is that you're trying to do with your business, how you're leading, how you're communicating with your people, all of those kinds of core things, okay? Secondly, when you're clear about what it is that your values are in the business, it makes an enormous difference for the growth, because that way when you're onboarding people, you're bringing them on, they're gonna know this is what the business is all about, okay? Another thing as an example of chitting your potatoes or preparing yourself is that you really want to look at investing in yourself as a leader. There are so many compelling reasons as to why leaders need to invest in themselves. But if you look at anybody who's grown any kind of a business to any kind of level, they will all tell you they've gotten a mentor, they've gotten a coach, they've gotten consulting, they've done training for themselves as well as for their people, okay? So I don't want you working in a vacuum and just trying to figure it out on your own. I'm here to support you, to help you so that you can really grow that harvest that is you're looking for, right? Let's get things chitted out for you so it's not so difficult for you to be that leader that you want to be, and really then to help you to go grow the business. All right, you guys, are you done having false starts with how you're getting things going, right? Are you done with hoping that you're going to put something in the ground and it's going to yield what you're hoping for in the business? I get it. I totally understand. You don't need to be there. Let's get this figured out. Have a consultation with me. Let's talk about what's going on with your business. Let's look at the true problems, and let's talk about what needs to be chitted, right? What are the different things that can make a difference to really nurture stuff before you start throwing it out there to the marketplace? Let's get you clear about what your customers need, what you need, what your employees need, so that you can have that awesome harvest that it is that you're looking for. Doesn't that sound a lot better, right? You're going to work anyhow, you're going to put the effort anyhow. Let's have a little bit more clarity and a lot more strategy so that you too can go have that harvest that is that you're looking for. All right, my friends, grow as the leader and then in turn help your business to grow. All right, my friends, get out there and grow your brand.